Astronomers have now searched far more of the Milky Way for alien signals than anyone realized. This is Fascinating Frontiers, episode 151. A new analysis shows astronomers have already scanned millions more stars than previously tallied in radio searches for alien technosignatures. The revised count comes from re-examining the sky coverage of past surveys rather than new observations. Researchers now see an opportunity to design more efficient follow-up strategies that avoid redundant pointings. The findings suggest the search volume for artificial signals is larger than earlier estimates indicated. Next up, the Vera C. Rubin Observatory has published its initial science-ready image and catalog from the LSST camera, centered on the well-studied Cosmos field. The deep exposure captures hundreds of thousands of distant galaxies across a wide area. The release demonstrates the camera's ability to map large-scale structure and transient events simultaneously. Future data releases will build on this early catalog to track cosmic evolution over time. On another front, NASA mounted a plaque carrying an SD card with over 1 million submitted names onto the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. The plaque continues a tradition of sending representative human artifacts into space on flagship missions. The names were collected through a public campaign and will travel with the observatory as it begins its wide-field infrared survey of the cosmos. Engineers completed the installation at the Goddard Space Flight Center before final pre-launch checks. The spacecraft is scheduled to lift off from Cape Canaveral on a Falcon Heavy. That physical token will ride with an observatory designed to map billions of galaxies and thousands of exoplanets over its 5-year mission. The contrast between personal names and the vast survey volume underscores how exploration missions still carry human stories alongside their instruments. New dynamical models indicate the galaxy may host a large population of black holes without stellar companions. These isolated objects would be difficult to detect through traditional X-ray or gravitational wave channels. The simulations track how binary systems are disrupted over time, leaving single black holes scattered through the disk and halo. Future surveys with precise astrometry may be able to identify some of them through microlensing. The classic formula continues to guide estimates of how many intelligent civilizations might exist in the Milky Way. Updated inputs for star formation rates, planet occurrence, and the longevity of technological societies keep the equation relevant. The article walks through each term and shows how recent exoplanet discoveries have revised several factors upward. No consensus value has emerged, but the framework remains a standard tool for structuring the discussion. The European Space Agency confirmed the launch window for Ariane 6 flight VA-270, carrying the second Meteosat third-generation imager satellite. Liftoff from Europe's spaceport in French Guiana is scheduled to open at 21:10 British Summer Time on 27 August. The mission will place the MTGI-2 satellite into geostationary orbit to improve European weather monitoring. Teams from ESA, EUMETSAT, Arianespace, and CNES are preparing the vehicle for the second flight of the new launcher. AE Industrial Partners acquired a 60% stake in Rocketdyne, with L3Harris retaining a minority interest. The move restores Rocketdyne as an independent supplier of rocket engines and propulsion systems. The company's RS-25 and RL-10 engines power several current and planned launch vehicles. The transaction closes a chapter that began when Aerojet Rocketdyne was acquired by L3Harris in 2023. Krios Space will fly its air-breathing electric propulsion system aboard a nano-avionics satellite bus. The demonstration aims to show sustained operation at altitudes where residual atmosphere can be used as propellant. Very low Earth orbit missions could benefit from reduced drag and longer lifetimes if the technology performs as modeled. The flight is scheduled as the company's first on-orbit test of the concept. Habe Robotics received a NASA contract to develop lightweight robotic actuators suitable for small satellite missions. The technology aims to give CubeSats and similar platforms greater mobility and manipulation capability once in orbit. Engineers are focusing on low-mass, low-power designs that can survive launch vibrations and the space environment. The work supports NASA's interest in distributed robotic systems for future exploration. The Skywatcher Heliostar 76mm H-alpha telescope provides a compact way for beginners to view prominences and filaments on the Sun. The instrument uses a dedicated hydrogen alpha filter to isolate the red light emitted by excited hydrogen in the chromosphere. Reviewers note that the small aperture keeps the package lightweight while still delivering dramatic surface detail. The telescope is designed for quick setup on a standard photo tripod. The astronomy picture of the day for 4 August highlights intricate cometary knots within the Helix planetary nebula. These dense knots of gas and dust are sculpted by the intense ultraviolet radiation from the nebula's central white dwarf. The image reveals hundreds of the tadpole-shaped structures pointing radially outward from the star. The knots offer a visible record of how a dying star's wind interacts with its former envelope. Picture a faint band of light stretching across the pre-dawn sky, visible only when you stand in the darkest desert. That same glow, scaled up, could surround countless other stars. In our solar system, the band is produced by countless microscopic grains, each roughly the size of a grain of sand, drifting in the plane of the planets and lit by sunlight. Around another star, the same dust would lie within a few astronomical units of the host, orbiting at speeds of tens of kilometers per second, and replenished by collisions among unseen asteroids or comets. One surprising measurement already in hand is that the total mass of this warm dust around some nearby stars can reach several times the mass of our own zodiacal cloud, enough to outshine the star itself at certain infrared wavelengths. When astronomers try to photograph an Earth-like planet in that system, the dust scatters starlight into the same pixels, creating a glare that can swamp the planet's own faint signal. The open question is whether this dust is steadily ground down and removed, or whether fresh collisions keep the haze dense for millions of years. A Canadian astronaut is completing final training ahead of an upcoming flight to the International Space Station. The mission will add to Canada's long record of contributions to the orbiting laboratory through both crew time and robotic systems. Preparation includes simulations of docking procedures and operation of the Canadarm2. The flight continues the steady rotation of international partners aboard the station. Students from across Louisiana flew custom payloads from the Columbia Scientific Balloon Facility in Texas. The high-altitude flights exposed instruments to near-space conditions for several hours before recovery. Participants gained experience in sensor integration, data handling, and mission operations. The annual program provides a low-cost pathway for early hands-on aerospace research. Historical studies of fusion-powered spacecraft from the space age remain relevant to current concepts for reaching other star systems within a human lifetime. Designs such as pulsed fusion rockets and magnetic confinement systems continue to be evaluated for their specific impulse and thrust potential. The article reviews how these early proposals address the energy requirements of interstellar distances. Progress now hinges on advances in compact fusion technology and materials that can withstand repeated fusion pulses. Keep an eye on updates to the Roman Space Telescope launch preparations in the coming days. That covers today's space and science news. Share this with a fellow space enthusiast if you found it interesting. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you tomorrow. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NERA Network. Links in the show notes. Quick tip from the network. Try Unintended Consequences next. True stories of good intentions that backfired. Every NERA Network show is free at neranetwork.com. The age of AI puts real builders on the phone with an AI host. Apply at neranetwork.com. Age of AI apply. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
breathe.